Hi students, today our topic is computer memory. We know that memory is only used for storing your data and instructions. So it is just like a human brain. Okay, how your human brain stores everything in your head, no? So like that is a computer memory is mainly used to store your data and instructions, right? So that is nothing but storage management in your computer. So this computer memory is a storage space in the computer where data is to be processed and the instructions are required for processing are stored. Data is nothing but the value which you are giving by the user are processed and the instructions required to process your data. So it will store both data and instructions, right? So this is called as memory, right? The memory is divided. How this memory is stored, how we can organize this memory means the first measurement. What is the first thing what we are following in the memory management is the total entire memory will be divided continuously, will be divided into small parts. And then the smallest part in your computer is called as cell. Okay, so the smallest part in your computer memory is called as cells. So here that each location or cell has a unique address. That means the smallest unit, no, that cells has a unique address. How we can refer? Because if I want to store the value of 15 in my computer memory means that should be reference, that should be one address assigned for that cells. So how we can assign means by the unique way of giving address. So how we can give means it is a continuous memory allocation that we will see in the later higher semesters. Say for example, let us come to the next one. That means if your computer memory is having the capacity of 64K, means how much memory location can be stored in this 64K means 64 into 1024. Okay. 64 into 1024, that is nothing but 65,536 memory locations will be available in the memory size of 64K words. Okay. So how it will be stored? What is the first location means? Always your storage location in your main memory or primary memory or whatever the memory you have chosen, always the first location will be 0. That means that your storage location will always start from the 0th position. How we will do in C programming, like 0 arrays and all will be stored from the starting location of 0. No, in the same way only, whatever the memory space you have taken, it will start storing your data from 0th location to till the end of their data, till the size of your data. So the address of this location varies from 0 to, say for example 65,536 is my memory size means it starts from 0 to 65,535. So the last location is 65,535. Right? So this is about computer memory. Now this computer memory is broadly classified into 3 types. First one is cache memory, primary memory and secondary memory. Let us see one by one. Right. Cache memory. Cache memory is a very high speed semiconductor memory which can speed up this CPU. So in a simple word we can say cache memory is the smallest and the fastest memory. Everyone can answer for this question. What is meant by cache memory means it is the fastest and smallest memory. How it is made up of? It is made up of high speed semiconductors. What is the use of cache memory? It will speed up your CPU. Right? So this rather than main memory and secondary memory, cache memory is mainly used to speed your CPU. That means to increase the speed of your processing, you will obviously go for your cache memory. Right. What is the role? How it will be? So it acts as a buffer between the CPU and main memory. Why I am saying this? It is act as a buffer or interface means whenever you are going to process one data, that means one application is processing, one program is running, for that the CPU will go and approach the memory to store and retrieve every data for intermediate processing or at the execution of this processing. It cannot go and approach frequently because main memory is a huge memory. So whenever the CPU it approaches the CPU main memory, the time will be more. The time taken to approach a main memory is more. So to reduce the retrieving time and accessing time to the main memory, we will introduce one buffer, or we will introduce one intermediate memory, that is nothing but cache memory. So instead of going to approach the main memory for every request, we can approach the cache memory because it accesses a buffer. So the time taken to retrieve and store the data from main memory is saved. Okay, so that is the main thing and logic what we are following in cache memory. So that is what it is called as smallest memory and highest fastest memory. In that way, it reduces the speed of it reduces the time to retrieve the data from main memory, and thereby it increases the execution time. Okay, then it is used to hold those parts of data and program which are most frequently used by the CPU. That means that this cache memory mainly, this cache memory, where in which situation this cache memory will be more efficient means when you are going to access the frequently used data, that time this cache memory is playing more important role. So it automatically reduces the time of retrieving and fetching the data. So this fetching data and retrieving data both are same. So in order to get one data from main memory, instead of approaching main memory, we can approach cache memory for frequently used data. So that time when you are approaching the frequently used data for every time, that retrieving time will be reduced. Obviously it will be reduced. So that is the main advantage of cache memory, right? Coming to advantages in point wise, so this cache memory is faster than main memory. It consumes less access time as compared to main memory, as I explained earlier, and it stores the program that can be executed within a short period of time. That means that frequently used data will be most accessible and will be most used in this cache memory, and it stores data for temporary use. Mainly because it accesses a buffer between your main memory and your CPU. So it will not store any permanent data, right? And then what is the disadvantage means it has a limited capacity, because as a buffer purpose only we are using. So it doesn't have any more capacity of that, more amount of storage can be utilized. We cannot avail this opportunity. And then it is very expensive. So this cache memory is also very expensive, right? Then primary memory. Primary memory, as the name itself, it holds only those data and instruction on which computer is currently working. So if your program, that means in one application is running and working, means what are the data is required for executing that program or application, and what are the instructions to be required to be execute that application is only stored in the memory. So at that time, this primary memory will hold only those data and instructions on which the computer is currently working. And it has the limited capacity, and data is lost when the power is switched off, because that primary memory only will be enabled when the application is running. That time only that will be working. So that is what it is. It has a limited capacity, and data will be lost when the power is switched off. And what is the built-in type? How it can be means it is generally made up of semiconductor devices, and it is not fast as registers, because it is a huge size, and the data and instruction required to process resides in main memory. That is what the data and instruction required to be processed at the current time will be in the main memory. And these are the main classification when we are these are the example. That means RAM, random access memory, and read only memory are the two categories of primary memory. So we'll see the characteristics of this RAM and ROM in higher semesters, right? Then what is secondary memory? This type of memory is also called as external memories and are non-volatile. What is meant by volatile and non-volatile? Non-volatile in the sense, when the power is switched off, the data will not be lost. Even though the power is switched off, the data will not be lost. So that kind of memories are called as non-volatile, and it is lower than main memory. These are mainly that this kind of external memories are mainly used for storing purpose. Say for example, CD-ROM, how we are using pen drive and DVD players, everything and all, no. So these will be to store your data or your informations. So these for storing purpose only we are using this kind of secondary memories, right? So examples of secondary memories are disk, that is nothing but your hard disk or pen drive, CD drives, DVD drives and etc. Floppy disk, so magnetic disk, magnetic drives. So these are considered as secondary memory, right? I hope you understand this video. I'll catch you in the next video about next topic. Thank you.